The dark 11th hour draws on and sees us sold to every evil power we fought against of old. Rebellion, rapine, hate, oppression, wrong and greed are loosened to rule our fate by England's act and deed. The faith in which we stand, the laws we made and guard, our honour, lives and land are given for reward. To murder done by night, to treason taught by day, to folly, sloth and spite, and we are thrust away. The blood our fathers spilt, our love, our toils, our pains, are counted us for guilt and only bind our chains. Before an empire's eyes, the traitor claims his price. What need of further lies? We are the sacrifice. We ask no more than leave to reap where we had sown, through good and ill to cleave to our own flag and throne. Now England's shot and steel beneath that flag must show how loyal hearts should kneel to England's oldest foe. We know the war's prepared on every peaceful home. We know the hell's declared for such as served not Rome. The terror, threats and dread in market, hearth and field. We know when all is said, we perish if we yield. Believe we dare not boast. Believe we do not fear. We stand to pay the cost in all that men hold dear. What answer from the north? One law, one land, one throne. If England drives us forth, we shall not fall alone.
Well, today has been and gone in terms of what it is that Liz Truss, what she had to deliver. And we notice from Northern Ireland, we notice our own politicians in the DUP. Well, they are, and I'm going to say, quote unquote, they are accepting, albeit a cautious accepting of what it is that they're hearing, without having identified, in my honest opinion, without having identified where the real problem lies. And if I could just sum things up in this way, and later this evening, I'll come back and we'll put together, I'm going to say, an in-depth delivery of why that it is that we should not be accepting of this, what it is that Liz Truss is actually proposing. But the DUP, well, they're cautiously welcoming what it is that they've seen. Now, let me tell you what it is that I have been aware of since last week, since that Edwin Poots on the Nolan Live television show, whenever he said that the DUP would have absolutely no problem in having checks, Poots posts remaining. That's on in Belfast, in Larne, and also in Warren Point. Now, whilst that there is a lot of things within what it is that Liz Truss would have been suggesting in her delivery there just an hour or so ago, there is a real problem for me, for some here at Restore, with reference how that it is that they propose in solving the Irish Sea border question, and how that any unionist could accept what it is that they've just heard. Well, one could only imagine that if they do cautiously accept this, well, what it is that this is a climb down position. This is a watered down position of the DUP, and something that they're going to be happy to accept and to work with. Now, what is it that we see? What is it that we heard in Liz Truss's delivery? And what is it that we've also been keeping an eye on over the course of the following days, whenever we hear the various commentators, the various political pundits in the media, talking about the things that, and I'm going to say this, that they were privy to No, I've absolutely no doubt that there was positions that was being passed around amongst the political parties for either acceptance or otherwise. And whilst you're hearing some talk in the media, a tough fight, well, the reality is that I believe that the DUP have already accepted the fait accompli position that was to be delivered today and that has been delivered today. Now, let me explain what it is that I see, that if you are a British Unionist, if you believe in Northern Ireland's place within the United Kingdom, if you believe in the sovereignty of the United Kingdom, if you believe that you are part of the United Kingdom or want to remain part of the United Kingdom, if you believe in your Britishness and everything that goes with it, well, what it is that you shouldn't be accepting or you shouldn't be welcoming is that the protocol in essence remains. And what Liz Truss is proposing is that there is a green corridor, let's just say, for goods coming to Northern Ireland within the protocol, and the posts, the borders in Belfast, Larne, and in Warrenpoint, well, they remain. And not only do they remain to check the goods bound for the European market, which wasn't acceptable to myself and others here at Restore, but not only do them posts remain to check goods coming and being destined for the EU market, but they also remain to check goods which are destined for Northern Ireland let's say they will pick and choose what it is that they want to check within that green corridor. So, in fact, what has been delivered through Liz Truss's proposals and the DUP are largely welcoming the protocol remains. The Act of the Union, well, it still has been subjugated in terms of the trading position of Northern Ireland from within the United Kingdom. And, well, all I can say is what it is that Liz Truss has just delivered isn't and should not be acceptable to any unionist who wants to see the continuation of Northern Ireland from within the United Kingdom. Now, largely this was a compromise, and this was a compromise to facilitate and to placate those who were yet again insisting that there was problems if the protocol was going to be removed. Not only for Republicans is there problems if the protocol was going to be removed, even though that protocol is a constitutional changing protocol, and that what it does is it separates unionists from the rest of the United Kingdom, contrary to the Act of the Union and contrary to the Belfast Agreement and the principle of consent contained within the Belfast Agreement. Not only are nationalists now saying and Republicans now saying and others, that's the alliance parties of this world, not only are they saying that they don't want a border between Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland, but what they're now telling you is that they're insisting that we remain separated from the United Kingdom. And if we are not in that position, if we don't continue to remain being separated from the United Kingdom, well, what the Pan-Nationalist Front are saying is that there's going to be trouble. And, that's a totally unacceptable position to find yourself in if you are a citizen of the United Kingdom living in Northern Ireland. In fact, if you're a citizen of the United Kingdom in England, Scotland, Wales, or Northern Ireland, that's not a good position for to be in. Now, what I'm going to say here, and I'm going to use specific words. I'm not going to be staying for long. As I say, we're going to pour over the detail of what's being delivered, and we'll come back and we'll highlight some of the issues that we see happening before our very eyes. But what I'm actually going to say here is, whenever that we look at the Parliament, the Westminster Parliament, and we look at the Remainiacs inside the Westminster Parliament, whenever they were literally they were taking sides with the EU against the United Kingdom, against the Parliament in which that they sit. But I mean, that just shows you how Remainiac that they actually are. They are totally devoid of any support for the United Kingdom whatsoever. In fact, they would love to see the United Kingdom broken up, and they would love to see the European Union make England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland separately. They would love to see the EU making all of those entities within the United Kingdom complete vassal of the EU, which means to say that we would be law takers, not lawmakers, and we would have to do anything that the EU says. If the EU says jump, but like say the Republic of Ireland right now, well, the Remainiacs in the Parliament in Westminster, well, they would like to see the laws being made in Brussels and us having absolutely no chance of actually changing any of those laws, which would be to the detriment of the people here right across the United Kingdom, no matter why you're a unionist or no matter why you're a nationalist or a Republican or a Scottish nationalist or a Welsh nationalist or whatever. It would have huge detriment to us if the EU were to completely take control of the entire United Kingdom. So whenever this is the case, and whenever we can identify these Remainiacs in England, Scotland, and Wales, and in the Southern Ireland, and well, right across the Western world, is the truth of the matter. But here's something that I'm going to say, and I'm firstly going to say that I don't want people to pick me up wrong when I use this language, because I'm just going to choose specific words whenever I say that what else is left for us to do. We've chosen the legal routes whenever here at Restore, whenever that we would have been part and been advising in a judicial review against the protocol, which went to judicial review stage. Then went on to the, it went on to the, what is it they call it? The second part of that judicial review, which was the appealing of the judicial review, which didn't go in our right way. Sorry for that. I lost my words there. And then we didn't win the appeal either, but now that we're heading towards the Supreme Court, and hopefully that will happen either of October of this year or further down the line. But we are trying to do things legally. We have the moral high ground. We have the democratic right to be insisting that we should not be separated from the rest of the United Kingdom. We have what they call an internationally recognised agreement in place, which says that there should be no constitutional change within the United Kingdom or within Northern Ireland unless that there was a vote, a referendum put to the people. And, whenever that we're trying to do things lawfully, whenever that we're trying to do things, by, protesting, whenever that we're trying to do things by winning hearts and minds and trying to wake people up, and, we do so on platforms like this, and we are derailed even by the social media platforms for having a particular type of view. In other words, we cherish our British nationalism. We cherish the United Kingdom. We cherish Northern Ireland's place within the United Kingdom. And we're trying to do every single thing legally and lawfully to try to say, well, in a diverse society, shouldn't we have that right to have a place within this society, remaining British and remaining part of the United Kingdom and having our rights as British citizens respected? We are doing this, democratically. And yet these Remainiacs from all quarters who hate Britishness, who hate everything that you stand for, who want to destroy the United Kingdom, well, you see, they just do not accept the results of democracy. They do not accept that you are doing things legally and lawfully. And whenever all else fails, where are we heading to here? Where are we driving to? And here's the terminology that I wanted to use, and then I'll go on to further explain what it is that I actually mean. Are these people driving us towards, quote unquote, civil war? Now, what do I mean when I say civil war? I mean political civil war. Is this where these people are actually driving us? Because if it doesn't work, that we do things in a way that is democratic, if it doesn't work in a way that we do things lawfully and legally, if it doesn't work in a way that we protest against the things that are not going our way, if it doesn't work that our so-called sovereign parliament, well, they can't even change the rules to place Northern Ireland as per their democratic right back in the United Kingdom, well then people, we actually need to look at the next stage in a process. And that next stage has to be civil war, political civil war against these Remainiacs who seek to destroy Northern Ireland's place within the United Kingdom and who seek to destroy the United Kingdom as a whole. It is absolutely, it's crazy. It is crazy. You know, our Parliament, Liz Truss, you know, what she was delivering there was a compromise document. What the DUP appear to be accepting is a compromise which allows that protocol to remain in place, and which literally, well, what has changed? If all that we're getting is a protocol, we still have a border in the Irish Sea, the North Channel. We have a green lane for goods coming to Northern Ireland. We have checks on the goods going to the EU, all in Belfast and Larne and in Warren Point. And there's still going to be checks. And this is the key part. This is what we see. There's still going to be sporadic checks on the goods that is coming to Northern Ireland. So what has changed? They may say in the Parliament, in the Westminster Parliament, that what they're going to do is they're going to remove the EU courts having jurisdiction over Northern Ireland, and Northern Ireland, as a place in the United Kingdom. They may say that, but where does this go? This, legislation is put in place. Will they get it through Westminster? Probably not, because of the way that the system there works. Is this a mechanism? Now, here's something for everyone to understand. Is this a mechanism that is putting things on the long finger, which is designed to get the DUP off the peg that they're now on, out of the cul-de-sac that they've now been placed in by the people of Northern Ireland? Is this putting things on the long finger? Is this going to be pushed down the line for, who knows, maybe a couple of years by the time that legislation is fought about and put in place and so on and so forth? Is this going to be going into more negotiations with the EU, which could last for a very long while, given that we already know what happened in the Brexit process? Is this taking us towards a particular vote here in Northern Ireland, which is, it's in place where that there is to be a vote within the Northern Ireland Assembly, and not the people of Northern Ireland. Oh no, they couldn't allow that, but they want the Northern Ireland Assembly to decide whether the protocol remains or whether it goes, and I think that happens in 2024. And if you look at the numbers in this mandate contained within that Northern Ireland Assembly, well, what you will notice is that the good ship unionism here in Northern Ireland, well, we will lose that vote because the numbers are heavily stacked against us in terms of, the Remainiacs, the Republicans, and the Ulster Unionist Party, who are Europhile in everything that they do. Now, one thing to remember before I close, and I am going to close here, and I will be back later to talk some more about what it is that I see, that the DUP have largely welcomed what it is that they see, when what we see is no change to the Irish Sea border. A protocol remains in place. There will be still checks in a green lane for goods travelling to Northern Ireland, which means that there's still a border there to check those goods, and the EU goods will be checked on those ports in Belfast, Larne, and in Warren Point, and all the other promises that are to go into legislation. Well, that could be on the never, that could be pushed down the line for to 2024, and the Northern Ireland Assembly would have your say in keeping that constitutional changing EU protocol in place, and that couldn't be acceptable to any unionist here in Northern Ireland. So I don't know why the DUP are actually accepting this. I don't know. It beggars belief. Well, let's just see what the DUP have to say. as they see things happening, we won't be bluffed. We won't have our eyes, we won't have things done behind our backs. We'll be reading over every single detail, and we will be back later on to give an in-depth analysis of what it is that we see happening before our very eyes. I do see that the TUV have actually come out just before that I did, and they've also stood against it also, which is to be welcomed. And, and if the DUP want to move on to this claim down position, a claim down position that was which was touted by the Alliance Party, a claim down position that was touted by the UUP. I mean, the UUP said that they promoted this claim down position to the Americans, to the EU, and to the Irish government. The UUP are claiming that what they did was that they were the architects of this claim down position that you just see being delivered through Westminster today. And, it's, I don't know. Well, we know that the UUP are not very unionist, are they? Now, just playing us out, we're not going to stay. We're just going to play us out with something that Mug Beattie had actually said yesterday whenever he was threatening the DUP that if they don't get into the Northern Ireland Assembly, well, what he will do is that he will join with the Pan-Nationalist Front, and what he will do, I assume, is that he will designate as other, and they would exclude, say, the DUP and the other unionists from the Assembly, and they'll move on with the Northern Ireland Assembly without the electorate's say-so, without cross-community consent, without support of the unionist electorate here in Northern Ireland. I would say to Mug Beattie politely, that would be a huge mistake. And again, I want to go back to those words again. And these are words that might frighten people, but if we can't do things legally, if we can't do things lawfully, if we can't do things as per our democratic right, if we can't do things in a way that should be delivered in a diverse society, respecting the rights of British unionists to be first-class citizens in this society, if we can't do things that way, well then political civil war is what has to happen. It has to happen. And I've absolutely no doubt that it will happen, with or without the DUP's support. So there we go. Not a good day for unionism. Not a good day if you look at the devil in the detail. Not a good day if you listen to Liz Truss answering questions today after she delivered what it was that she was suggesting. It's most certainly not a good day whenever Liz Truss has admitted that the Putsch post stays, that the border remains in the Irish Sea, that the goods coming to the EU will be checked in a red lane, that the goods coming to Northern Ireland will also be subjected to sporadic checks in a green lane. Effectively, people, this is a real bad compromise for British unionism. And well, I would say that if you would be a Republican right now, you should be happy. Who remembers Michelle O'Neill whenever she said that the protocol is going nowhere? Well, not only do I agree with her, I now completely, I concur that protocol under what Liz Truss had delivered is actually going nowhere. So there we go, people. We are ordinary people. We all we want is for fairness to be delivered to unionism here in Northern Ireland. And it seems as if, we were right. It seems as if the DUP were teeing up as of last Wednesday, and as of Jeffrey Donaldson's words from yesterday on the media, whenever that they are saying that they're going to be happy for goods to be still checked in Belfast, Larne, and in Warringpoint. Well, I'm saying to the DUP right now, as a unionist, that is totally unacceptable to me. So there you go, people. Well, I'll see you all later. What to do is share this around, give it a like, give it a love, give it a share, even though that it's over. It doesn't really matter that it's over. I just believe that people need to understand what it is that's happening before their very eyes. So that's our analysis. The protocol has gone nowhere, is going nowhere. And well, you couldn't accept that. Yeah, you definitely couldn't accept that if there was nothing else left on the table. So the fight continues. The fight has to continue. In fact, the ante has to be upped. And let's just see the persuaders, the agents of influence trying to persuade that unionism here in Northern Ireland should accept that deal. This will be interesting to see. And really, if it takes it, well, we'll need to highlight them for exactly what they are. So playing is out with Doug Beattie saying yesterday that if the DUP don't get back into Stormont, contrary to what it is that they promised the people here in Northern Ireland, well, the UUP would join with others to override the DUP's position, and they would form an executive without the DUP. So listen to Mug Beattie as we play out, and we'll speak to you very, very soon.
The government take steps tomorrow or this week to fix some of the issues that we see with the protocol, then it's important that we nominate a speaker and we get back into government and start doing the work. And if we do not get back into government, then we need to identify who's blocking it and we need to bypass him.